Hey, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us today and welcome to Articulate Homegirls. My name is Jade Morris
I'm Jade Clayton.
and we are so glad to have you. And thank you for joining us for our intimate conversation.
Yeah, I think that settles it. It is an intimate conversation.
Right. That wraps it up in a nice little bow, right? So, do you want to tell us or tell everyone why we're here, who we are?
Yeah, definitely. Okay. So Jade and I realized that we used to get together and network and brainstorm and go over ideas and share resources.
Yeah.
And we felt that it would be great if there was like a networking platform where women of color would be able to share resources together. So, thus, Articulate Homegirls was born. So, essentially, what we want to do is include all of you guys in intimate conversations where we can share resources and network together.
Yeah, pretty much a one-stop shop for our ladies for all types of glow up resources, information, networking, touch base, all of that. So at this point, we have this intimate conversation where we're starting and we want to provide you guys with resources, knowledge, and any type of answers to the questions that you have on things that are current, modern, and happening in your everyday life. So, we wanted to kind of tell you before we jumped in what you can look forward to. So, outside of these intimate conversations that we'll try to come to you once a month, we're going to also be doing Jade's brainchild.
Definitely my brainchild. So, we're going to have networking events quarterly, and that will be your opportunity to connect with women like yourselves and share ideas and do cross collaborative efforts. It'll be a platform where you guys can share ideas, and if you want to work together, you'll be able to do that. So, really just building connections, like we said, like 5,000 times, sharing resources with women like yourselves.
Yeah, resources are key, right? It helps us to navigate any issues, any things that we like to brainstorm in our lives, we like to put into fruition. So, with that being said, we also are going to be coming to you live. So, we are going to be doing some live exchanges. So, these intimate conversations are going to be live, give you a chance to come out, ask questions live, meet people, meet us get the chance to meet you. So we're really, really excited about that. Before we jump into some of our conversations, a little bit about us. Like I said, my name is Jade Morris. I am a wife, a new mommy, a business owner, a corporate employee. So I do a little bit of both. I work for mortgages. I work in the mortgage industry. And I work for a company where I process mortgages, work with real estate agents, underwriters, and different things like that, and absolutely love it. In regards to my entrepreneurship, I am getting into the real estate industry, buying homes in order to invest and uh, build generational wealth. I also, right, a plug for later. I also have what is called the Beauty Boutique, which is an online service and product based boutique for women. And we'll get into all of that a little later.
What's the website for the beauty boutique?
Thebeautyboutique.site.
Gotta plug yourself.
Right.
I'm gonna plug you too. These eyelashes.
Ah,
You can get these
yes.
eyelashes on the beautyboutique.site.
There it is. So, what about you?
Okay, so I am a mortgage underwriter. Jade and I work together. We so which we love. We love that. So I'm a mortgage underwriter currently. I'm also a real estate investor, and I am a proud dog mom. So I also own a candle company called Hasisa.co. And so the website is Hasisa.com. And we sell 14-ounce candles and 5-ounce candles. They're made with wooden wicks. So if you want to set that ambiance, that's where you need to go. So
And they smell so amazing. Oh my goodness. We did our first pop-up shop a couple weeks ago and it was absolutely amazing. A little nerve-wracking.
it was very nerve-wracking. That was our first pop-up, which I think the biggest thing that I actually learned from that is just like jump in. Like sometimes you have to
Right.
just jump in. Like I'm a person who like wants to prepare for everything, but if I shout out to Synergism, that's who had us. Thank you so much for having us. The event was
Eli,
awesome.
we're gonna have to use his music one
We should
day.
use his music.
We're all about women empowerment, but I mean,
That's an articulate homeboy.
right. Oh, the merch is about to be real, y'all.
Yeah, articulate homeboy. Okay, so yeah, but it was a really good event, and I think like even though we were both kind of nervous, we just jumped right in. It was so worth it, and my confidence is up a little bit, and I've been getting really good reviews. So
Definitely. So speaking of confidence, right? I'm about to jump right in and she don't even know. Um, right now, I was talking to a friend yesterday and she was just talking about how she's been struggling a little bit with her confidence because COVID has really tanked her dating life. And I don't know, it just came to me just now that you said confidence. And so Jade, I know I told you guys I am a wife and a mommy, so I am obviously been off of the dating scene for a while.
right.
But I would be interested. You know, I didn't have any words of wisdom for her yesterday.
Look at me getting nervous. Like I'm like, what business of mine is about to be aired out? But go ahead.
So, what are your thoughts in regards to like I said to her yesterday serial dating. So maybe that's not the word, but like you'll be 30 soon.
Yeah.
Is that okay for me to tell them?
Look at this, everybody.
Sorry.
I'm 28. I just turned 28. I will be 30 soon, apparently.
Okay,
But
well,
no.
I think I'm
No, what she's saying is, I completely understand. Like, yeah, sometimes I think when women are approaching 30, they feel like, oh my goodness, I'm not married. I don't have a kid. And I see on my timeline all these babies everywhere. And, sometimes it can be overwhelming where you feel like things are moving too fast and
Yeah.
like, you want to find that person. But I think that if you rush to find that person, you might end up with the wrong person. I think that's even scarier.
that's really scary.
I think that's even more overwhelming than, looking for the person is being with the wrong person. So I think as far as your friend, like with the confidence thing, because I know a few people, even myself, like when you're out there dating and you're like that expression, you've got to kiss a few frogs. They said a few frogs. They didn't say a few hundred frogs. You have to kiss a few hundred frogs until you find that person. But it kind of makes sense because there's so many people in the world, like to find the right person for you. Like sometimes people don't understand it's not gonna be in the immediate areas that you go all the time.
Yeah.
So I think that definitely like meeting people, going to places you don't usually go. I'm not saying go to the club every weekend now if you've been at home reading books, but I'm just saying, doing things that you don't normally do might prompt you to meet someone. And I think serial dates are okay.
Right. So you mentioned earlier, you said that you are on social media, you see other people with
Yeah.
husbands, their kids, their milestones that you may not be doing right now because you are still dating. Like, how does that impact your dating life or your outlook on love and dating and everything else?
Yeah. So sometimes, like, as far as I think what we're getting at is kind of just like when you see other people doing all of these things, like, how do I feel? Seeing those things and then how does it align kind of with my goals? I think honestly things are a little bit more challenging. Opposed like especially things like if you are buying a house with somebody, you have two incomes when you want to buy a house. I just bought my second property and that's on one income, baby. So it's just like, sometimes you feel like, oh my God, it's just me. Like, I want to build with somebody. But, it changes the way I look at things because now it makes me feel like I'm a little bit more selective when I'm dating somebody. Like, I know the things that I like to do. I know the things that are important to me. And I want to find somebody that those things are important to me too, to them too. So it makes you a little bit more selective when you're dating people. But it also, you have a little bit of, stress if you don't want to wait until you find somebody to build those things with them. So, and I think social media can kind of set like a false expectation of like everything you have to be doing at this age and you have to be ready to do. It's like, no, take your time. Everything's gonna work out when it's time to work out. So I guess social media. So I'll pick.
Girl, that was good. That was good. Cause even me, like I'm married, I have a
Yeah.
kid, but I still see people on social media. And not that I envy anyone single, but
Yeah.
like to be able to just pick up and move, or
Yeah.
to be able to pick
True.
up and go on vacation, or pick up and just go out. Like,
True.
so I get that.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that like even though we look at social media a lot of times as like an example of people, I think also like the examples in your life too can kind of shape how you've seen things like as far as like what you think of marriage is important. A lot of times people's
Yeah.
families have been married for 30, 20, 30, 40 years and they might say I want that, or their parents might have fought for 20, 30, 40 years and they may be like I don't want that.
Yeah, that's good.
You know? So I think definitely other people who you choose to surround yourself with can definitely impact that. I think that I have really good examples of friends that are married. So it's worth it to me to feel like I want to wait to find that person because, you know, I have examples of what a good marriage looks like to me from what I can see, guys. I'm sure like everyone has their problems in their marriage, but I think when you can recognize when a marriage seems healthy versus toxic.
Toxic.
I think that's like as far as toxic, I think that that's like a new word like that everyone wants to use all the time. Like we've always used toxic, but I feel like now it's got like a new life, like cap. Like, I mean, I guess I wasn't using cap before, but like,
I feel like you're like trying to reach out to the Gen Zs.
do you not say cap?
I do not.
You don't
say
be like,
cap.
that's cap?
No, I do not.
No cap?
No cap. See, you don't even sound right.
No cap. You capping.
Oh,
You capping.
guys.
Jade is old. She's closer to 30 than me. So
I am, guys. I'm turning 30 in 6 months. I'm sad.
no cap.
No cap. Wait, does that mean I'm not lying?
No. Well, cap is lies. So no cap
is
means
no lies.
No lies.
I became a mom, and I cannot even relate. No, I can relate
Relate to being what? Relate to what?
to no cap.
Oh.
I don't even know where that came from.
I guess it's like I can't relate. No cap.
Moving on. So that little intermission just made me realize I became a mom and I feel like I am like isolated a little bit.
Yeah, I think that first of all, you became a mom during a pandemic. So you have a pandemic baby. I understand where the pandemic babies come from. Y'all needed some more isolation before, or maybe being isolated together with somebody.
Right.
All of you out there getting it on. So there's a lot of pandemic babies. Do you feel like, how do you feel like raising a kid in the middle of a because you were pregnant during the pandemic and you had a baby during the pandemic?
Yeah.
How do you feel like that was a different experience?
Well, first of all, shout outs to all the new mommies that are mommying during a pandemic, all the old mommies, veteran mommies that are adjusting to pandemic children.
You mean like experienced mommies or like
Yes.
veteran mommies?
No, not like I know I should.
Veteran mom. Immediately in my mind, I just pictured your mom with like a
Okay,
camo
let's redo that.
army cap.
You this cat
Veteran mommies.
So wait, no. Okay. So shout out to all of the experienced mommies
Okay.
that are adjusting to having pandemic children now. And then all the new mommies that, like you said, had to be pregnant during a pandemic, had to have children during a pandemic. Nothing is the same. Everything changed. Like your baby shower wasn't the same. The way you went to doctor's appointments and not always being able to have your significant other there.
Yeah, your baby shower was kind of, it was a drive-by.
Right.
And Jade was like Princess Diana just waving at the cars, the drive-by. You got a lot of gifts though.
I did. I was very blessed. I will say I was very blessed, but it was different.
Yeah.
It was definitely different. And I think raising a pandemic kid, it's a gift and a curse. And I thank God, you know, I have a job where I can work from home and
Yes,
they're
nice.
very understanding. But Lord, my 9-month-old, we want to throw hands sometimes.
Is
Like we
it
are
because of
together.
all of the is it because of all of the time you guys are spending together? Or
Yeah, and it helps develop her,
yeah.
but it also drives me insane.
Yeah.
And Jade, I went through some tough postpartum depression,
Yeah.
and you would have never known. Like, I literally would go to the gym sometimes, come home, park in the garage, and just sit behind my steering wheel and cry. Wipe my tears, go in the house, cook dinner, kiss my husband, kiss my baby, and go to bed. So, yeah, so dealing with postpartum depression has been tough, but what makes it all worth it is really the fact that God has given me an opportunity to raise a child. Like, you really don't think about it in that sense when you're like, oh my God, I'm ready to have kids. I'm ready to have a baby. Oh my God, I'm having a baby shower. Yay. But to really like raise someone that's not on the 5 o'clock news
Yeah.
is hard work. And I know I'm only 9 months in, but every day she's doing something different. Every day I have to make the decision to choose her, to choose my husband first, to choose to be there mentally, physically, emotionally. And that is really what kind of pushes me in order to move forward.
So you're saying that essentially the challenges are just that, like, even though it was hard, even though it is hard, what motivates you is just the fact that you know, want to raise somebody that's not going to be in the 5 o'clock news.
I mean, when you condense it down to one sentence, yes, that's my desire in life. But I really want to try to avoid all the trauma that a lot of children go through,
Right.
all the toxic behavior, all the generational curses that people pass down. And really, right now is really different because we have social media. And though I thank God for my child, social media can be very persuasive on the view and the expectation of what motherhood looks like. Right. So you see all these moms and it just looks like, I think every mom is a super mom, hands down. But just the mommy guilt that you can get from maybe not breastfeeding, maybe not having a natural birth, maybe not deciding between organic and non-organic, or
maybe not snapping back immediately.
Oh, girl, I ain't want to talk about that because I am still working on it. But yes, you're right. It's a lot of pressure, and it is a lot out there that you're consistently digesting when you're just scrolling or when you're just looking and you don't even know. And motherhood can really be completely different than what you see on social media, what your expectations are. And we don't talk about those things. Like, we don't talk about going to therapy before you need it, having a support group, having a village before you need it, before it's a dire need in your life. But with all that being said, motherhood is absolutely phenomenal. It is a journey that comes with highs, lows, days that you just would never expect, joys that you would never be able to fathom. And I just wish every mommy during this pandemic time immense joy and the ability to take in what you're going through day by day and understand that if you need someone, we are here. If you have questions, we are here. We're gonna leave so many resources below. If it be that you're watching on our YouTube channel or on Instagram, there's so many different things that I have dealt with that I would love to share. So yeah.
No, I think that's really important. I think you said a lot of really great things, especially like having a village ready before you need one, having going to therapy before you need it.
Yeah.
I think that those are really great things, and not just in motherhood. Like, that's things that we need to do as people, but
Yeah.
also as women, because we take on so many things. And it's like sometimes you do need a village to support you, which is kind of what we tried to do here, make a village to support people before they need it. But
Right.
no, but honestly, and I think that if you just, when you have people that can surround you and be like, I've done this before, it makes it a lot easier and you don't feel like what you're going through, you're doing it alone.
Yeah.
So, and I think some things just are not talked about. Like you said, postpartum depression, it's not talked about. How social media impacts motherhood is really not talked about. I don't have any kids. Those things are not things that I'm thinking of unless I have people around me who already have kids. And, it's not too late when you get into it, but it's like, damn, why wasn't I prepared for this?
Right.
No one ever talked about this. Now you're in it. And it's kind of just like, it makes it hard to get out of it. So I think that was great.
And it's a tough balance to, share the joys of anything you're going through in life, but also share the hurdles you had to overcome and the tough moments, and making sure that you're not saying things that may deter someone or hinder them from going through that journey, but also just being transparent and honest. And there's so many things, we could go all day about motherhood, but there's so many things that you go through. But all in all, I think that it has given me a new perspective on my future and on what I want to do when it comes to setting a great foundation for my future children, their children, their children. I mean, I guess that's just generational wealth, right?
But I gotta give it to you because right now you're in the process of packing because you're moving into your new construction. I've never done new construction before. I know that's hard. Being a mom, working.
Yeah.
And, organizing, getting that house built. So, like...
Did you just call me a clown because I'm juggling, like, everything?
She said it. I didn't say it. I didn't say it. But, I mean, that's how I feel sometimes. I'm like, oh, my God. Like, you ever seen The Truman Show? No. We need to insert some like music right here, like that's just like, yeah, exactly. Anyway, for anyone else who hasn't seen The Truman Show, it's Jim Carrey's in it, and his whole life is being watched by other people, and all the decisions he makes are being watched by other people. And sometimes,
is it a movie?
Yeah, it's a movie.
Oh,
it's not a show. It's called The
Interesting.
Truman Show. Anyway, my point here is just that sometimes I'm doing so much stuff. And you're conflicted. You don't know like which way to go. There's no path. And I just feel like are other people watching me like right now? With all these struggles. So anyway, that was my little 2 cents, but it really went left because you never watched The Truman Show. But I wanted to talk about the challenges that you are dealing with right now, especially with like having all that on your plate.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned something cool is the fact that I'm packing. So just a little plug, Jade and I Jade actually moved already.
Oh, because of our second homes? Yes.
Yes.
So I moved and I built this studio.
Isn't it lovely?
I built this studio for us. And you just have to make do with what you have. Like make things work for you. It's like, I'm really proud that we were able to build this. I want to see, are you going to do a studio on your own or are we just always going to be here forever now?
No.
So I definitely want to get a studio or build a studio in my home. I just honestly, with the new construction, so we got in really early before our model home was even built.
Okay.
Which makes it a lot more feasible when it comes to price because you're getting in at a lower price before the rest of all of the homes are built, right? So I say all that to say I don't necessarily know what my house is going to look like.
Yeah.
I know it's square footage, what I wanted. I know that the overall plan is what I want. So it's definitely going to be interesting when I figure out all of that.
I would say. I mean, we're in my dining room right now, so.
And I don't have a dining room.
You don't have a dining room?
No, I opted to not have a dining room and have an extra bedroom on my first floor.
That's nice. The first floor of the master is really nice. I opted to not have a dining room because I eat alone. So
back to that dating life.
Exactly, I eat alone. So I'm like, I don't need a dining room. But I definitely thought you would have a dining room.
No.
So yeah, I really don't know where you would put a studio, but I guess you'll figure it out.
So it's gonna be interesting. But back to our journey. So I'm juggling. I'm a clown. I am making sure that my life is none of the balls are falling, right?
Yeah.
Back to real estate. I want to give you a high five, girl, because
We're high-fiving on the camera.
you are amazing. You literally work full time,
Tired. I'm tired. You are tired. That's what you should have said.
have been moving. Not moving as in I sold a house and bought a new one, as in I am buying a new house, keeping my old house, and renting it out in order to build.
This is what keeps me going. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Right.
That expression, because like it's really overwhelming. I'm not gonna lie. Like even like when I posted it, I had such really good reactions on social media, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, you go girl," all this stuff. And it's great, and I love that I'm able to inspire people and stuff like that. But like, it is tiring.
Yes.
Your girl is tired, and so like, it is really stressful. And I'm still in the process of getting the other house redone in a pandemic, which that's something people don't talk about enough. Is this that having materials and finding workers and all the contractors are backed up, and then having people do things, and then waiting something that's supposed to be 2 weeks into 2 months for these countertops to come in, trying to rent that out, like. It's a lot. Yes, I'm really proud of myself and like for being able to do this because it was part of my goals. Like I envisioned it and I went after it, which is something I think that everyone should do that. Set goals and crush them. Like it's awesome. But just because you set the goals and crush them doesn't mean you won't be tired. And I think doesn't mean you won't feel defeated. Doesn't mean that it won't be challenging. And I think a lot of times when we see people on social media and they accomplish all that stuff, we think it's going to be so glamorous, and the first time we try it and it's a little bit hard, we're like, this isn't for me. I'm doing something else. But in reality, it's like, yes, you just got to keep going through it. Like, so I wanted to say that.
Yeah.
Yo, girl,
and you know, that's a good point. Sometimes we get to these hurdles and we're like, I'm turning back. This was not meant for me.
Yeah.
But I know with myself, when I start something, I start with the end in mind, right? And I have this vision of what I think the end will look like, or what I desire the end to look like, so that when I'm going through and I hit that hurdle, I see that end in mind. I'm going to get over this hurdle. I'm going to make sure, even if I stumble, even if I fall, I'm going to pick myself back up and I'm going to push forward because I have the end goal in mind. And with mine, it's generational wealth. Yeah. Like I want to be able to pass down something for my daughter and my other future children. You know, my real desire is on her 18th birthday, I'm able to transfer over a title to her. Like, here's your first house. Boom. And so with that being said, girl, I'm tired too. I feel you. I know y'all tired. I know y'all tired.
Yeah, no. Honestly, that's a New York in me, no. Yeah, no. But, honestly, it's hard. But definitely starting with the end in mind makes it a little bit more worth it. Like, It seems like when something is really hard for me, I just keep focusing on why. The why. People always say all the time it's the why. Yeah. Like, you focus on the why. And it's like, sometimes it is hard. But I love all those motivational TikToks and Reels to remind us to keep going. Right. And I always joke with Jay, the Eric Thomas one. He's like, sometimes you gotta open up a business with no plan. I'm late, I'm behind. Right. I hear it on TikTok all the time. And honestly, it really does work. And you should just tell yourself those things when it is hard. Like, tell yourself to just keep going. Yeah. So I definitely think that. So we have shared some home ownership.
So since you're already here, I'm still in the process. Like, my house, I can still see like the skeleton of my house. So I'm not there yet. Yeah, you're already in your second home. What have been the challenges from the point that you said, I'm going to have multiple homes, to the fact that you now have multiple homes?
So what were the challenges in that?
What were your biggest challenges?
It was all challenges. So I'm like, asking what were the joyous moments? No, honestly, I think that the biggest challenge is that I'm only one person. And so it's not like, oh, I'm single, woe is me. Being single is great. I made the decision that I went to buy another home and I did that by myself.
Yeah.
But it's when you're only one person and you have so much that needs to get done. I'm in the middle of working. Agents are calling me. You know, my lender is calling me. I'm trying to get all of my documents in myself. I'm trying to talk to a property management company. I'm trying to talk to contractors. I'm trying to set up utilities. It's just in having enough time. And time management is really important. And I think that is the biggest challenge with buying a second home, but more importantly, I think the biggest challenge for other people is probably the knowledge. So you and I are fortunate enough, we already work in the mortgage industry. We have already bought a home, so we're kind of savvy on it. But I feel like the biggest challenge is people don't understand that it's not that hard to buy a home. It's not that difficult. It's just there's a knowledge block.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I always wanted to buy a house, and I remember being like, I need to save up $30,000 to buy a house, and I bought my first house with $5,000. For real, I'm not playing. And I didn't buy this house like ages ago. I bought this house my first house in 2020.
Yeah.
So during the pandemic, granted, it was right before I went under contract in March. The pandemic also happened 2 weeks later, but it was still a competitive market, and it's not too far from now. I bought my house with $5,000. And so people think that you need an absorbent amount of money to buy a house, but you don't. You just need knowledge.
But yeah, that's really good because that's one of the main reasons why we're here. We want to be able to produce resources, information, knowledge, and all of that for you guys, and to be able to come to you with our own life experiences, because in all honesty, like I don't know anyone in my family that has been able to successfully build a empire of real estate like I want to. So I don't have someone that I could just go to like, hey, what'd you do when X, Y, and Z happened?
No, I completely understand, Jade, what you're saying, because both of my parents are homeowners. Jade's parents are homeowners as well. But
wait, hold on. Shout out to the parents, though. Big ups to you guys. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here.
I think Jade is more in touch with her parenting shouts right now because she's a parent. So she's like, thank you for everything you did for me because I need that good karma. Like, so
I'm trying to put as much good karma out there now that I'm not a spoiled little bratty kid.
Yeah. No, honestly, I think it definitely makes a difference. Shout out to our parents. We're not on the 5 o'clock news. We're on camera.
Right. We're on camera, but not the 5 o'clock news.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. But both of our parents are homeowners. They set great examples. But at the same time, they don't have empires. And so right now and granted, they didn't have the resources that we have. They didn't have YouTube. They didn't have, I think they would go to like
Wikipedia
or like seminars and try to not get scammed. You know what I mean? Like, I think there was a big.
They had like the encyclopedia back then. Like you had to actually open it.
I wonder if people like know about an encyclopedia.
I wonder if kids.
Now. I don't think they do now because they just look online.
Oh my god,
that's pretty cool. Anyway,
that's so weird.
Anyway, but yeah, like you said, I didn't really have examples of how to do what it is that we're doing.
Yeah.
And so I think that there's got to be other people out there that feel that way, and we just want to come together. Yeah.
But speaking of our parents, I think, what did they pass down on the importance of a home ownership to you? Because I wonder if it's different than what my parents said.
So my dad, I would always make fun of him because he didn't have the cool sneakers. He would always go to Modell's and buy his sneakers. Do you know what Modell's is?
I do know what Modell's is.
I don't know if people in the South know what Modell's is.
Oh, it might be a northern thing.
It's a northern thing.
Okay. I used to go there for like my basketball sneakers every year.
If you shopped at Modell's, put a sneaker emoji in the comments. Or your parents shopped at Modell's, put a sneaker emoji in the comments. And we'll see how many people know about Modell's.
Right.
But my dad never had cool sneakers, and I would always tell him, Dad, your sneakers are not cool. My dad would be like, that's okay. I pull up in my car that I own to my house that I own. So from an early age, I understood that, materialistic things or consumeristic like behaviors are not like the priority in my family. It was always, pride in owning your own stuff. But they didn't really have conversations with me about why home ownership is important, but it was kind of just implied. What about you?
That's interesting because I was gonna say something to the same effect. My dad is very open, and he always so open.
Your
like
dad is goofy. Your dad is so silly. But go ahead.
Shout outs to you, Dad. But he's to the point like I didn't believe in Santa Claus, or we didn't celebrate Halloween or the Easter Bunny because he was like, I will never lie to my children.
I think also, I know some people are going to have different opinions on this. It is fun for kids to be able to believe in something, but at the same time, your parents work really hard to provide things, not for someone else to take the
credit for these presents.
For these gifts. So,
a little plug. But he would always just let me know that he worked hard and he wanted to be able to do better than the generation before him. Mm-hmm. And so he would say, when he would buy a house, he would bring the kids along and he would show us what he was doing. And he would always allow us to ask questions. So we never really had a conversation on home ownership is important because X, Y, and Z, but he always allowed us to be a part of the process. He always told us that, I want to do better than my parents and I want you to do better than me.
Right.
And so he always gave us a leg up and allowed us to be able to ask some questions. Even now, there was a point in time where my dad owned 2 homes and he rented out one and he owned the other. That's and cool. I asked them and I'm like, Dad, why did you decide, not to continue? Why did, just to see what he would say. And he was a wealth of knowledge. And though he did not continue, I was able to build off of that information. So
he didn't continue?
Well, he had 2 jobs at the time. He was a pastor and he was working in corporate America. And my sister was really sick at the time. Okay. And so he had a lot to juggle. And when you're doing that plus trying to run a business, because real estate is a business, right. He said it was a lot to handle. But now now that I think about it, shout outs to you, Dad. He owns 2 homes now.
Yeah,
he just recently invested in.
He did buy a house recently. That's right.
I'm sorry, Dad. I've been coming for you unintentionally. No. And you out here doing big things.
Yeah, he did recently.
No, my parents are amazing, though.
Right?
Yeah.
2 months
ago.
ago.
2 months ago. So that's amazing. Look at that. But so is there anything else you wanted to say today, Jade?
No, I just want to say thank you guys for being part of this with us, because Jade and I feel like it's really important. And without having that community with all of you guys, we won't be able to go as far. Yeah. And so this is something that we really want. And it's great if all of you really want it as well and will be actively participating, because together we'll be able to accomplish so much more. So I'm really excited for, just to see what everyone can contribute,
Yeah. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to our intimate conversation. We're really excited for this movement that we're about to establish and we're about to take the journey we're about to take with you. It's not about us. It's not about any of the guests that we bring on in the future. It's about you. So we wanted to do a little something special for you. We have these amazing mugs here, and we have some merch coming out. So we're going to do a really big giveaway. It's going to include some mugs, some dad hats, which is...
I love dad hats. Dad hat queen.
Yeah, some dad hats and t-shirts. And so all you have to do is go and follow us on Instagram. Follow us and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And all the information will be below. And make sure that you tune into our next intimate conversation, and we will be drawing names. And I think we're gonna do about 3 winners. So the odds are high. We're just starting out. So listen, make sure you follow along, and we'll see you next time.
What did they say in the Hunger Games? Make the odds be forever in your favor. Is that how they said it?
That was so close.
What was it?
I don't know.
So how you know it's close? That wasn't right.
May the odds be with you. No.
Anyway, see you next time.
Bye, y'all. See y'all later.